Definitely one to celebrate. We're celebrating Africans, reminding you to come through when you tell us about the Africans that you are loving and why you're so proud to be an African. And obviously, as we celebrate Africa Week and the continent's rich cultural tapestry, there's no better way to honor its diversity than through food. So today we're going to be bringing the bold, comforting flavors of North Africa to your kitchen with a one-pot Moroccan chicken. And it's just a few pantry staples and warm spices which will allow you to discover how easy it is to serve up the soul of Morocco and right from your home. I'm still going to work on my Moroccan accent, but G-Man's here to work on the recipe.
I was waiting for that to come in, dude. That was actually the whole reason why I signed up for today's show, was to just wait for the Moroccan accent to come out at some point. Now, we'll do this for the four-ways boykies today. I'm bearing in mind we are two South African lads attempting a Moroccan flavor profile. Okay, that's probably the best way to explain it. We are not saying that this is an exact traditional Moroccan recipe. We're feeding off what we've been inspired by the flavors, or at least Tiff, our amazing head chef, is. And we've got some great flavor combos going in here. So obviously the heart and soul of this dish is our chicken. You want to brown it. Somewhere in the recipe it says the skin and the fats are optional. I don't think that's
come on,
true.
No,
Okay?
You can't leave that behind.
Come on.
Involved.
But that's the flavor for me.
Yeah.
Is there anything closer to divine right than the taste of chicken skin? I'm sorry, man. There's just something about it.
There's been people that have been always demanding this in restaurants. Just serve me up some chicken skin on a plate, bro.
Well, I think you can
kind of
get it now, yeah. But that's the flavor and the fat. So obviously we've got the brown meat of the chicken here. We've got the thighs, which I think is slightly more flavorful anyway because there's a bit more fat. So even if you are going to take the skin off, cook with the skin at this phase to get the fats out, to get the flavor out.
Fats and flavor, exactly that, man. And obviously you're getting different textures and you want a lot of that experience in your food. Also, the fact that this is one pot, G-Man, is something I'm loving.
Exactly.
Because for convenience, for meal prep, this is always going to be advantageous. So you threw a couple spices in there.
All right, so we've got turmeric to make your fingers yellow. We've got some paprika. We've got cinnamon, and we've got some cayenne pepper, because you do want a little bit of heat, but this is kind of the balance of heat and sweet a little bit. So we've got the apricots and the honey to balance it out. But once again, just like when we're cooking a curry, I always put the spices in with the oil first to kind of toast those spices off, get the flavor right the way across. And of course, you can just smell how that's coming.
And I love how the skin that we've kept on, which was optional, is absorbing all the spice, all the flavor, and the color as well. So literally doing its job. And I think that's another benefit of adding the skin to it, because it has such a high absorption level when it comes to getting these flavors packed in.
I wonder if they list that on the label. What's the absorption level on the skin on this chicken, please? I want the absorption rate and the level that it goes to. But you must think about these things with a one-pot wonder. That's exactly right.
Exactly that.
Everything
and
to come
that's why
together.
I think the steps in the one-pot wonder make so much sense. You get the steps right, it's almost bulletproof, it's foolproof. Even myself and G can make it. And even I think you could possibly even trick North Africans into thinking this is traditional. They'll buy into this.
And I'm going to push the skin because we now made such a thing of it. But I think, for me, I think this is a critical phase of the flavor process. Oh, just smell that. Absolutely amazing. Press the smell button on your TV again.
Ow.
Okay, I think that looks great. Now we can just start dressing this guy up. Okay, so
does it matter what we add first?
Let's hoist some onions, shall we?
Yeah, let's get that in
there.
Go
for it.
So normally, this is the weird part of it, because normally like the onions would come first and you'd saute them up a little bit, throw some garlic and stuff and get that going. But I like how this is flipping the script and making the chicken the hero almost.
Completely. And I always, like with the meat, I always feel like you've got to kind of seal. Someone told me early on in my braai journey, seal the meat.
Yes.
So that's like embedded in there, that you've got to kind of seal that flavor in. But I think it also speaks to how much flavor is in the natural fats of the meat. So let that be the flavor base or the oil base for the meal. And we've got, you can see how much more fat is in there from when we started. Just as a result of this cooking out.
I've been loving this concept of using different sort of fats to cook with. So I've been using tallow, which is almost like an animal fat. And I've been really enjoying it. It adds flavor, it absorbs the flavor, and it's almost like a beautiful medium and a bathing sort of agent that just really creates ambiance for the flavor to just literally bask in. And I think that's something that you're naturally getting from
like a spa day for the chicken. Look, man.
Well, look at it. It doesn't get better than this, man. Come on.
Now just summer adding for the sake of TV. I mean, you can build this up nice and slowly as you do. But the advantage of having a one-pot wonder is that it's exactly that. So I've got our chopped tomatoes. I suppose you could even go with a tomato puree or even a a tomato paste if you want something a bit
Perfect,
thicker.
Man.
We've added our stock. I've just put the whole lot in there. You can build it up as you go, but I want this to cook low and slow and really simmer down.
Yeah,
so I'm there. The more liquid, the better.
You're talking tenderizing powers here,
Come
bro.
on.
Come on. This meat is just going to drip off the bone, but everything else is just going to be so involved. And I think this is that thing that if you've got more time, put it into the meal because it's just going to get better and better. Like G-Man says, low, slow, long. It's going to be a song.
Now, what's going in your food? What have you used in every recipe this year?
Honey.
Honey. For some reason, honey is the star of the show this year, man.
I love it as a sort of natural alternative for something sweet. Instead of using something like a sugar, honey is also low GI, so it's not going to give you such an insulin spike as well, or a spike in that sense. So again, great stuff here.
It kind of feels like the original superfood to me because there's all sorts of other, like I've heard microbial and antifungal and all sorts of things.
Yes.
But of course, we've added quite a high acidity with the tomato, so to balance it out. And rather than using brown sugar or something that I would normally lean on, now we've got another natural sugar.
This, bro. How cool is this?
Absolutely
I love
beautiful.
how we are using this into the meal. It's something that I think everybody loves to snack on, dried fruits. So when you're incorporating fruits for that sweetness, for that texture sort of change in your meal, wow, this for me is that cherry on the top. Or should we say apricot on the top?
Exactly, and the apricot's going to shine here. I think it's got a nice balance of the sweet and the acidity as well, and especially when it's been aged like that, it just gets a little funkiness to it. Imagine the balance of flavors here. You've got a nice solid base, and we've ramped it up with the chickpeas as well, which is going to make the meal stretch for a little bit longer.
Yes.
And now we just cover this 25 minutes, 30 minutes or so. Just let it all melt away. It's going to be beautiful. And yes, please keep the skin on.
This is perfect meal prep. And I know someone that's been enjoying a meal prep and just getting into more meals, Carissa, obviously. And I think if you were to think North African, I don't think that this is a dish that's too far off of the cultural stuff we might even have at home, right? The stews?
Absolutely. It's so similar. The tomato-based stews that we have here as well is very popular. But I love the chickpeas. Extra protein, extra fiber.
Completely. And I think for me, where the local curries here, certainly in the Cape and the Cape Malay style, is a bit sweeter, like you say, a bit more tomato. I think this is leaning on a flavor profile we down in the Cape might actually be quite comfortable with.
It smells incredible.
I would ramp it up. I told him, press the smell button on your TV. And then just a little bit of salt and pepper as you go, and I would add more heat. I think this is screaming for like a bird's eye chili, but that's me.
The lark is spicy.
The lark is spicy in the north, yeah.
The Ross is spicy. Well, listen, other people that definitely like sparse and sports, it might be you, it might be you. Well, let me tell you, Brayton Pulser in particular is somebody that I recently had the honor to meet and interview.
What a legend.
And his story is absolutely incredible. I mean, the stars really aligned for his destiny, and I'm so excited to get into that. Not only that, we're going to get updates on the URC. Some very exciting things are happening on that side of the world.
Yeah, man. 3 of our teams are through. Simple
well, look at that.
As that. Yes. We'll find out who after this.